Paul, have you ever seen the movie Flashdance? You have? You lived it? Okay, well, what were you, the dancer, the ice skater, or the comedian? Whoa, whoa. Don't get so upset. Okay, obviously you were the dancer. Did you wear leg warmers? You did. You did? Holy cow. Welcome to another episode of the Mighty Code Coder. I'm Rob Fitzgerald, here to make you great and help you innovate. It makes sense when you're working with an AWS project to have a secure, private, and public network. Therefore, I think it would be wise as a programmer to venture off into the networking world and figure out just how to set up this type of network. Then we can be certain that these projects are secure and the data remains private. We are not trying to become networkers, and this tutorial will not be enough for you to gain any network certifications, that's for sure. But this will give the programmer a way to better understand how their code can be written to take advantage of these secure networks. Many AWS services will be requesting VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, information, and programmers should understand why this information is being requested and how to be assured that your network is secure. Look, I am not a networking expert, that's for sure. However, I have ran many large computer labs for many years. I know that networks need to be public and private and connected to the internet. Understanding how all these networks are set up helps me know how the AWS or how my lab should be set up and how students can benefit the most. So what we're going to do is we're going to log into the AWS console and we're going to try to code this virtual private cloud. Okay, so we'll do that now, and I'm going to go into my AWS account. And remember, if you're logging in from an educational setting and you're using Adhesive, that's the best route to go. So we'll go through Adhesive. And I will log in here. And logging in, I'll use my login with Google. And yeah, I'll just use this real quick. Take us in there. I advise everyone to use their Google login. I will sign in with my phone. For some reason, it didn't do the two-step authentication, so it just sent it to my phone. So here it is right here. Okay, and then we'll be into Adhesive. Paul, be cool, man. Be cool. Yeah, right, man. All right, so here is my course. I will now, all of my students should be able to log into this, but I will just log into my Computer Science A class, my AP Computer Science A class, and I will be setting this up from there, but I will use this to go to my AWS Educate account. All right, and this will be a console that, where you meet all your AWS services. So let me go in here and you'll see that I don't have many credits left. And I am going to have $7.24 left. So you can see I've been playing with this for a little while. They give you $99 to start, or $75, I think it was. All right, so I'm going to type in the search bar VPC. Okay, and I will just basically have this launch. Now let me see if I got rid of all my VPCs. I did it. Okay, this might be good because you might have to get rid of your VPC. So I want to get rid of a VPC, and in order to do that, I have to actually close all my instances, and I know I have a Cloud9 instance in there, and we're going to be doing the Cloud 9 tutorial right after this. But I'll go into my Cloud 9 and see I have this in here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it because we'll start everything from scratch. I could do it with it in here, but I think it then becomes confusing because we have a lot of subnets and route tables to set up and whatnot. So I will now go back to my VPC and I will delete it. And this might be a good way to show you that you can quickly delete these. All right, so here's my VPCs. I'm going to click it and I'm going to go ahead and delete it. There we go. And we'll start from scratch because this is where you're starting. Okay, here is the first method here is where I'm going to go ahead and click on this. So let's set up our own personal network. Okay. Whoa. Man, this is going to be crazy. So before I get into this, maybe I should go ahead and draw this up. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's draw this up to show you exactly what we're building, okay? So in order to do that, I'm going to step over here. And boom, so I'm over here now. Okay, so in order to demonstrate this the best, I'm going to go ahead and draw up this entire network that we're trying to do. And I think it'd be easier that way. All right, so let me really give myself some room here. And I think I have to about a little further than my arm to stretch out here. So I'm going to go out here and create this first network, which is AWS's network. That's perfect. Okay. And so this is AWS US East 1A, okay, or something like that. Okay. And so this is just a private network. This is Amazon's. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build our own right inside for our AWS project. So it keeps it safe and secure. It has a public-private thing to it. And so we'll be building another one right inside here. And it's kind of neat because this is almost like double security here, okay? And so this one will also be like US East 1A, but it won't be the same as that one, okay? And we'll talk about that later, okay? The first thing you want to draw on here is the router, okay? And this will be our private network, okay? Our VPN. I'll just write that here, okay? And I'm going to give you an address to it in a second. All right, so here is the first thing that it hits is the router, and you may see these in your office or the place where you attend school, and their router, and I don't know why I draw it like that, make it a little funky because you're starting to see it, they are funky now. Okay, and so you'll have something in here called the first thing it hits is a routing table. Okay, and this will be all the addresses that are allowed to come in. And usually there's two because one is going to be public, all right? And one is going to be private, all right? So there we go with that. After that, you're going to have an ACL, and I sometimes forget what this stands for. Again, this class will not get you any certifications whatsoever. But an ACL, let me see if I get this, is an access access cleared list. It's not it. The C is something. I forget what it is. But access content list, access something. It's some kind of list that that allows you to bring in. This is where they make some rules to put in here. And you'll have like a rule 100 or 101 or 200 and 400. And we'll probably do that video later, but that's the traffic comes in, hits the router. Router has some routing tables, and then it hits the ACL, which are some rules to go in. I want to say access content list. I don't know. That doesn't seem right either. All right, so anyway, so that's what it hits next, and we're going to be making all this. Then we're going to be making a subnet, okay? And so I will actually type this out because subnet, or write it out, subnet is short for network, subnetwork. So this is a network within a network. So you see, you're really getting a lot of layers here. So you have one subnet, okay? And then in this case, we're going to make two subnets because once again, we're going to have one's going to be public and one's going to be private. All right, so you see how that works? All right, now the only thing missing about this entire thing is right here. And this network is secure, so secure it can't even get on the internet, can't even go out to the world. But we want our networks to go to the world. We want to be public, we want to be private, and we want them to go to the world. So right here, this is called, I'm going to just shorten it, Internet Gateway. Okay, so there you go, that looks good. All right, so that is what we're going to be building right now, and AWS is going to abstract it and help us become networkers. And so this is what we have, and so let's start. Before we start, I'm actually going to erase in here because as we build it, certain things are going to show up and certain things are not. And I'm going to kind of come back over here and tell you what's showing up and why. So let's go ahead and erase. I'm going to even erase our VPN because we have not even done that yet. So right now we are just going into Amazon's web services. Okay, and we don't even have that gateway yet. All we have is Amazon's private cloud, and nothing else is in it. All right, so let's snap back over there and see if we can move on. All right, we're back in. All right, so I drew that up. What do you think about my drawing board? Pretty cool, right? All right, so the first thing we are going to do, and we already did it, was open the VPC. And now we're going to go ahead and create that VPC. And let's talk about it as we do it, okay? So we just basically click on this button here. I'll zoom in a little bit so we make sure everyone can see this, even on your cell phone, if you're watching this from a cell phone. All right, sometimes forget to zoom in, forget the people that are on cell phones. It gets tiny. All right, let's first name it. All right, so we are going to name it, let's see what we're gonna do with it. I'm actually making this so we can program in Cloud9. So let's call this my coding VPC, all right? And then the block, we're gonna now do a block of IP addresses. Now understand if you have some kind of large lab full of computers, 40 computers like I have, you want them each one to have their own internet access and their own IP address. So you got to have a big block of IP addresses. So we're going to make a block on the IPv4. That's IP version 4. We have version 6 coming up because now everything has an IP address. Even your toaster has an IP address. So we need more IP addresses. So we're actually inventing right now IPv6, and you could actually program to that right now also. But let's, for right now, we'll just stick with IPv4 version 4, and I'm going to make it 0.0.0, and I'm going to go 16. All right, and then for IPv6, I'll just let Amazon make it, and all you do, my tenancy will be a default. Okay, all right, so that's all you do there to create that thing. Okay, that VPC, and I'll click on that. And it says error, something happened. Let me retry. What happened to me? Okay, there it is. All right. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so there it is. And so let's actually see what was created. Okay, so we have here's my coding VPC, and it says it's available. Here's the address of it. Okay, there's the address of it. The main route table got created. Actually, up here, you could actually see, I was going to show this on the side, But you see how I have a routing table that got created, an ACL that got created. All right. And that's about it. But let me scroll back out and show you on Amazon. Here are some of the things that get created in a VPC. Okay, so we'll see that if we click on subnets, there's nothing in here. Okay, so no subnets get created. Click on routing tables. It said that routing table got created on the other line. See, so there's my routing table. This is the main routing table. We'll talk about that in a second. Internet gateways. It didn't make an internet gateway. Remember, that's how you get onto the internet from your network. And then you have down here some important ones, network ACLs. All right, and you see there is one that got created, and security groups, and a security group by default got created. Okay, so now I should go draw this up, and just by enacting or creating that first VPC, things got created. So I want you to see what my my drawing starts looking like. Okay, so let's go back over there and see. All right, we're back over here. Everything looks good. I've used my monitor to see if I'm lined up correctly. Okay, so now we have our VPC, our coding VPC created, and it's right inside the AWS's. Okay, and we now know that this is 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, we didn't go to talk about anywhere where it is a, we didn't talk about any of its local networks yet. So we're just going to go in here and I'll put the name of it. We put code, we need it coding VPC. All right, so that's all we need with that. All right, as I told you, there was a, let's draw that router. Remember the router, I want to leave enough room for this router. We could make the router kind of inside our network, because it is inside. Okay, sorry for my little decorations here for my router. Okay, so that's my router. All right, and the first thing that got created was the routing table. Okay, and then we got a ACL was created. Okay, ACL. Okay, access control list. I finally got it. Sorry, access control list. All right, so access control list was created, one of them, just one of them. All right, and then we have the next thing that was created was a security group. Okay, so let's just put a security group in here. Okay, and I'll just put SG. So that's all we have. So you can see there's not even a internet gateway yet. It's just the router. Router will go into this routing table, check some rules in the access control list, and then it will see who's allowed to see this information. That's all we have. That's the default one. Okay, so let's go back over there and let's create some more. All right, so all right, we're back. All right, so I guess it said no subnets have been made. So I think the next thing to do is create some subnets. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. And so if I come over here to subnets, and you'll see it says create subnet, click right on that. All right, and now the first thing I want you to see with the subnet is the VPC. So we have that already. So we're going to say we're using our coding VPC. And our availability zone, see there's a bunch of different availability zones. And so most people just pick 1A and 1B, but my 1A and 1B may not be your 1A and 1B because I guess Amazon has randomized these. Even though it says 1A, you might get something that is 1D or E. They noticed that a lot of people were just going to use 1A and 1B, causing too much action on that server. And so they randomize on the back end. So don't ever think that your 1A is like my 1A. All right. The block we're going to use, we're going to go with 10.0.0, actually .1.0.24. And then now you're saying, whoa, now what's the difference? What's with these IPs and why are you changing them? Let's talk about that for a second. First, let's name this. I'm going to actually name it the same name as what my block is. Okay. And then I'm going to also name it with my US, and this is a recommendation from Amazon. All right. And so I'm going to go something like that. All right. And then let's start talking about these numbers. Okay. So I'm going to create that one. And they actually, remember, we want a public and private, and I drew up when we started this 2. So let's do another one. VPC is coding VPC. This one will be US East 1B. We will make this coding block 10.0.2.024. That's going to give us 256 IP addresses. That should be enough for any lab. All right. And so, maybe not any lab, but I'm going to go ahead and use the IP address as its name along with its zone. And so, again, this is a recommendation by Amazon. So I would suggest that maybe you just do the same. All right, so we created 2. All right, and I want you to see these now. Let's scroll them in. All right, now we have, let's get the name up here. See how easy it is to see which one's which now just with the address there. All right, so this is the first one. This is the second one. All right, this one's available and it has 251 addresses. And I thought it was 256. In fact, let's go to, I'm going to close some of these tabs and I'm going to go to something called a place we could see how many IP addresses, and it's called CIDR XYZ. And if I come here and I type in the numbers that I just typed in for that network, I like this. If you do, originally we wanted an entire VPN to have 16, and that gives us 65,536. Okay. And if I do 24, you see that only gives me 56. Okay. So 256. And so we actually named ours 1, and you'll see that doesn't change anything. Okay. And 2, it's just another reference inside your network. All right. So what gives? Because it says 256, but you come in here and it says availability is only 251. Well, here's the thing. Amazon reserves some. In fact, I could go to the documentation and I could search for, let's see, AWS VPN subnet size. All right. And there'll be documentation in here. You can see I've been to it before. All right. And if you go down to sizing, you'll see that they go ahead and designate some of them for their own use right here. So it says first 4 IP addresses and the last IP address in each subnet CIDR block are not available for you to use. Okay, and cannot be assigned to an instance, and these are what they use. Okay, so it takes 5 away, so 256 minus 5 is 251. All right, so that's kind of fun to look at and see, why. Again, this course is not going to make you an expert networker, but you can find some answers. You also notice that we want, remember we want a subnet. We want one subnet public, one private. So this one says auto assign public. And we said no. Well, let's actually take this first one. It's here it is. It's 10.0.1.0 US East 1A. We're going to make that auto assign. Okay, so there it is, and we're going to auto assign it as a public subnet. Okay, so now we have 2. One's private, one's public. All right, and yeah, so there's that. And I feel like we should probably draw that up. Let's draw it up. Let's go over and draw it up. Okay, so here we are again. Now we created 2 subnets. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw the first one. And I'm going to draw the second one, second subnet. And I could just say subnet, okay, and I could go 10.0.2.024. And I could go subnet 10.0.1.024. Okay, and this one is going to be public. And this one's going to be private. Okay, and there will be a security group in both of them. Okay, so one thing we're missing from the first one is we don't have that other route table yet. And then if you look here, we don't even have a internet gateway. This network doesn't even go out to the internet. So we have to work on that. And when we work on that, we'll be close to being done with this network. All right, so let's go back over. I always want to do some kind of snapping magic trick there, but I haven't got around to it yet. All right, so let's see where we're at. So we just put in 2 subnets. We made one subnet public, and now we've got to, well, I think the first thing we should probably do is create an internet gateway so we at least get that out there, okay? So by doing that, we're going to go ahead and click on Internet Gateways, and we'll create an internet gateway. Okay. All right, so if I scroll back here, we're going to give this, I'm just going to call this my internet gateway. All right. And that's it. That's all I need to do, and hit create. And you'll see when this is created, it's detached. It's not even on it's there, but it doesn't know what VPC to attach to. So we're going to go up to these actions, and we're going to click on actions, attach to VPC. All right. And so we'll select our VPC that we just made. Okay. And I'll say coding VPC, and I'll hit attach. All right. Beautiful. So that's attached. Okay. So I guess the next thing we should talk about is remember that other routing table we haven't made yet? We got to make another routing table. So let's talk about that. All right, so if I click on routing tables, you'll see that a main is made, okay? But if I scroll down here and go to subnet association, you see both are, let's scroll that in so you guys can see it, okay? Both subnets are here, and they're both associated. In fact, let's read this right here. It says the following subnets have not been explicitly associated with any route tables and are therefore associated with the main. Okay, now the problem with this is that if we make the main public, both your subnets are public. And remember, we want to make one private, one public. So we have to associate one away from here, and then the other one will remain private. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to go back to this. Let me make sure I get this right, because this is a tricky one. Okay, so we're going to make our main route public. So so both subnets are going to have a security concern. Then let's make a public route. Okay, so we're going to call it my public route. All right, so I'm going to create another one, and this is going to be called my public route. Okay, and we'll do it to this VPC. Create it here. All right, close. Okay, now you see I have 2, the main, and then I have a public one. So on the public one, okay, I'm going to now edit some associations. Okay, so to make this public, we have to actually edit some routes. Okay. And so let's go ahead and click on edit route. And in here, we can make a internet access. And here's how you do it. You go 0.0/0. Let me make this bit bigger so people can see from other devices. And then over here, you will now say, well, what do you want? I want my internet gateway. And you select your internet gateway. All right. Now, there's also one that you should do for IPv6. And so it's something like this. All right. You don't have to know this right now, but in the future, you will. All right. So there's that. All right. And so basically that gives us access to the internet from this route. Okay. And again, I'm going to save this. All right. And now if I go back to these and I go to these, you'll see that I have internet access, but I haven't associated it to a subnet yet. Okay. So let's click on subnet associations and you'll see they're both here. I'm only going to pick on, I'm going to edit subnet associations. Okay, and I am going to pick the IPv1, and it's this one right here. All right, and I hit save. All right, now that I made a public routing table, and it's associated with my public subnet. All right, and you can tell by here it says, here's my associations, and now if I click on this other one, it has this association. Okay. So I think I did that right. That's a tricky step. Take your time with that one. Remember, you're trying to make a public subnet and let your main be the private. Okay, and that's the tricky part. Okay, so the main's private, the new one is public. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. So should we draw it up? I feel like that is something we should draw up. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so let's switch over to the board. Boom, there I am. Okay, so now what do we have? All right, so we don't have a pen. The blue pen is gone. Here it is. Okay, so now we've made that other. This one was the main, and it remains. Well, actually, let's say this was the main. I just like to have the privates. Okay, so this is main, and it remains private. And the new one we made, okay, right here, and we call this my public route. Okay, we made that public. We also did something else. We also created a internet gateway. Okay, an IGW. All right, so now here's what happens. Internet comes in, hits the router, finds out if it's a public or private request, comes through the ACL, make sure it doesn't violate any rules, and then comes in, and we'll do a video on that one also. That's kind of fun. And then comes in here, and it can either get into a public or a private, depending on who it's coming from and their credentials. Okay, so there it is. There's your VPN. Okay, that is your VPN, VPC. Okay, VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. All right, and that's it. So beautiful. All right, and let's snap back over here. Let me try the snap back now. All right, something like that. All right, so now we have a virtual private cloud. And so thanks for watching. And I'll be back for further coding lessons that we're going to use this VPC with. But for right now, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Or go to our website at www.mightycodecoder.com or find me on Twitter at mightycodecoder. Thanks for watching.